Good morning, YouTube. Let's talk about flooded supercars.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and this is my garage, and this channel is all about the supercar ownership experience. And today, we're going to be talking about flooded supercars. And the reason is because, well, obviously there was a big hurricane that just hit Florida, and it hit Naples, Florida, which is a very wealthy area of Florida, and there is a boatload of supercars there. And I think there's going to be an awful lot of supercars that ended up getting flooded, and they're going to be salvaged. And those cars are going to be hitting the market pretty soon, and a bunch of people are going to buy them, and they're going to get screwed. So let's talk about why that's a bad idea, and you shouldn't do it except in a few weird circumstances, which probably don't apply to you. So let's talk about that. But real quick, if you want to support us, please like, share, and subscribe. And of course, you can buy parts and services through our website, normalguyssupercar.com. We do appreciate when you guys can support us. That does keep this channel going, so thank you so much to all of you that have done that. All right, YouTube, flooded supercars. Well, and this kind of applies to salvaged supercars as a whole, but flooded cars in particular. There's a few things to consider about flooded supercars. Well, flooded cars in general. So first of all, the insurance companies are totaling the cars when this happens. They're saying this car is not worth repairing, get rid of it. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, if you think you know better than a multi-billion-dollar insurance company that's done all sorts of data and research, you're probably joking to yourself. The insurance companies obviously think, hey, it is well worth it in our interest to just pay out the owner rather than try and fix the car. So that should tell you about how much things can go wrong with these cars. So another thing to consider is, well, okay, this is ocean water. This is not a lake. Ocean water is disgusting. It has a lot of living things in it. It smells, and it's going to smell even worse once it's dried up and crusty inside of your supercar. And furthermore, it's salt water. What is that salt water going to do to all of those electronics? Very bad things, right? It's going to be very bad. So pretty much the entire electrical system in that car is probably ruined up to whatever level the water went to. So this would be a great example. Let's say you find a Ferrari 599 that is flooded and salvaged. You don't want that car. Why? Well, all the computers, well, not all, but a vast majority of the computers are actually in the floorboards underneath your feet. So all that water has to do is get up above the door level, and all those computers are screwed. That's a lot of computers. That's a lot of wiring harnesses, all the stuff, all those connectors, all those sensors. I mean, there is a ton of crap that is now questionably destroyed. And even if you fix it, is it going to still be good in a year or 2 years? Because all that salt water is just going to sit there and corrode those connectors and make it difficult, and wires can get brittle and break and all sorts of problems. Here's another thing to think about. Generally speaking, Ferraris and other supercars have fine materials used in the interiors. All of that material is now screwed. It's going to stink. It's going to have to be replaced. I don't care how much scrubbing or sponging or shampooing or whatever you do, that smell is there to stay. It's going to be horrible and annoying and stinky. And, you know, one of the nice things about these cars is you open up the door and you get this fine leather, this Italian leather smell, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful and it's aromatic. And I don't think anyone's going to open up the door and be, I love the smell of raw octopus. It just doesn't work. So I know that everyone's going to be saying, yeah, well, Ed Bullion's done this, and so has Tavares or whoever, fill in the blank with some YouTuber. They have advantages that most of you don't. So they can make money off the YouTube channel. They make money on promoting the car. They have a huge audience, so they're going to find someone to buy that car when they're all done with it. And that's really a huge advantage that just makes the equation completely different for them rather than you. So that brings up the other thing. What are the conditions of when you should actually consider a salvage supercar, especially a flood salvage supercar? Well, I would say there's only a few reasons. One, you are a glutton for punishment and you want to torture yourself. Okay, very well, go buy a supercar that's been salvaged and flooded and whatever. Second thing is you think you want to buy this car and it's the cheapest way you can get some crazy car, or maybe it's super rare and they just don't exist on the market, and you want to hold on to it forever or very, very, very long. And keep in mind, you need to be like super good DIY, especially electrical in the case of floods. All right, if that's true, if you're very good with electronics, you're really good at using oscilloscopes and pinning out things and replacing wiring harnesses, computers, and you have access to people who sell those things for these cars, because let's be real, getting a hold of them can be extremely difficult and very expensive. Factor in all of that and you say, I want to keep this car for a long time, and hey, it's the only way I can get this super expensive, rare, whatever car. Okay, maybe. So I know everyone's talking about this P1 that just got flooded, and people are like, oh my God, someone's gonna buy this P1, and Houston wants to buy it, and I'm sure many other YouTubers want to buy it. They want to buy it again because they can make money on the sensationalism of buying that car and have it on their YouTube channel more so than the actual car itself. That car is gonna be problematic. I mean, I personally would not want to own that car. I don't want to deal with McLaren electronic problems plus salt water. That just sounds like a disaster. It sounds absolutely like horrible. That sounds like a terrible idea to me. So no, something like that just seems stupid. Now, again, maybe it's because, well, that's the only way you can get a P1 for, I don't know, half of the full price. So maybe it's the only way to get a P1 under $1 million, maybe. Who knows what they're going to value it at? They might value it something super crazy. It remains to be seen. What about you're looking around for cars? How do you tell whether or not a car is a salvage supercar that's been underwater? Well, there's a few small cues. One is obviously smell. If you smell a weird smell in these cars, probably don't want it impregnated in the leather, it's in the dash, it's just not gonna go away. So if there's a funky smell and you don't like the smell, don't buy the car. It's gonna be really hard to get rid of it. The second thing is obviously the title. If the title says salvage, flooded, whatever, that's very easy. And most of the time when these cars get flooded, they're going to get salvage titled because they're going to get claimed on insurance. Like, no one wants to have a multi-$100,000 car that's not going to be totaled and whatever. Obviously, there are some rare cases where someone maybe didn't have insurance on it, or the insurance for some reason didn't total it, which I can't imagine. So in those rare cases, maybe it's not salvaged, and that's where it starts to get a little bit trickier to find. But again, there's other clues. So one of the things you can do is actually open up the trunk, look underneath the carpet in the trunk, or pull up some of the carpet on the interior of the car, look on the bottom of the floorboards. If you see any sort of mildew or like dirt underneath the carpet and discolorations, that can be actually what happens. Is even though they might replace the carpeting, that sort of gross stuff in the water settles and gets down there, and it may not come out, and they may not even notice that it's there. So that's another trick that you can do, is look for those things. Obviously, if the interior looks like it's been like messed with and stuff, that can be another sign. Generally, those are kind of the only things, smell, discoloration of things, and of course the title. Those things are pretty big giveaways. And obviously, in this particular instance, if you're buying a car from Florida, if it's registered in Florida, or if it was registered in Florida, that's worthy of a little bit more digging. You can Google where it was and stuff. Anytime we're buying a car, if it's from Florida, it's a red flag. We do a little bit more research. Just like if it's from Nevada, we do a little bit more research because it was probably a rental. Same thing with New York. There's a lot of rentals in New York. If it's a Miami car, it's like a 50% chance that it was a rental. Start to learn the market, learn what you're buying, be careful. Long story short, we're not buying any flood salvage cars because we don't want to deal with it. From a dealership perspective, it is a losing proposition because those cars are extraordinarily hard to sell. We don't want to have to deal with it. We don't want to have to try and get the computers, and it's a huge risk and probably going to lose money. No, doesn't make sense. If maybe it was a super rare car and I wanted to buy it and I was going to hold on to it for the rest of my life, and I wanted to torture myself and have to replace all the electronics, then maybe. Other than that, don't do it. So remember, just be on the lookout. There's going to be a lot of flood salvage supercars and other cars hitting the market in the next month or 2 or 3. Use a little extra caution. Cars from Florida, okay, be careful. The same thing happened after Houston got hit with, Harvey a couple of years back. There's a bunch of totaled supercars or totaled cars, period, just hitting the market that were flood cars. Don't be going on Copart looking for stuff. But that's going to do it for this video. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We do appreciate that. We could use your help getting this channel up to 100,000. We're getting there. It's close. It's close. Also, again, I'll buy parts and services from our website, normalguysupercar.com. We're going to be doing a lot of cool car stuff, so you're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.